if you're watching online later, greetings and welcome. And we're so glad that you're joining us online. And we do hope that you will come and be with us in person very soon. And so whether you're here in person or you're watching online, I want you to know that you're here by a deep spiritual appointment. There are no accidents. And so you are here to be nourished and to become more fully yourself. Who wants to be more fully themselves? Who wants to stay not being themselves? No, we want to be more fully ourselves, right? So we are in the heart of Lent, and this is a season for deep contemplation. And the world is spinning with change and chaos, and many are longing for deep connection and meaning. And here at Unity of Tempe, we turn to our text for this season, which is which we've been doing, Max Ehrmann's Desiderata. And this was written a century ago next year. Maybe I should have waited till next year to do this, but no, the time is perfect for this. It's amazing. It's almost 100 years old. And it brims with spiritual wisdom for living with balance and integrity and compassion and purpose and hope. And today we're exploring the fourth stanza of the poem. But first of all, we're going to reconnect ourselves and remind ourselves of the first three stanzas, because I think they're so important, because they each build on each other. So, did I have that up? No, I didn't. You know what? Do you like that picture? I took it. Woohoo! Yay! In our local neighborhood. So anyway, so the first stanza is, let's say, if you want to say it together, you can, or you can just listen. Go placidly amid the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even to the dull and the ignorant, for they too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons, for they are vexations to the spirit. If you compare yourself to others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. And if you missed any of the first 3 weeks, you can find them on our YouTube channel, Unity of Tempe. And I do encourage you to sign up, subscribe, like, make comments. That really helps us grow our community. So these first 3 stanzas, they lay a foundation that peace is possible even in the midst of chaos. And self-worth is inherent, and goodness endures. But Ehrmann knows that these truths are not always easy to live by. So now we turn to the heart of today's message, stanza 4. Let's say this together. Be yourself, especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Well, what do you notice about this, first of all? One thing really strikes me. It's the shortest of the verses so far, right? But it is spiritually very deep and profound. So be yourself. That sounds like a slogan, right? It sounds like something you would wear on a t-shirt, or you would see on a coffee mug, or you'd put on a folder or bumper sticker. But actually, it's a spiritual directive. So spiritually, what does it mean to be yourself? Well, in unity, it means be the divine spark that is expressing as you uniquely. Your true self is not a fixed identity. Your true self is a prism, a beautiful prism through which spirit keeps finding new ways to shine. Be yourself means to be the unrepeatable expression of the divine that you are. No one can be you like you. And it can be challenging to be yourself, because many of us learned early on that being ourselves wasn't always accepted by others, and that it wasn't always safe to be ourselves. So we've learned to become who other people needed us to be. So my grandmother, many of you know, I was raised by my grandmother, and my birth mom, who had me, is my grandmother's daughter. So my real mom, who passed away last year, my mom, and she married a guy from of a different skin color, and my grandmother was extremely prejudiced. And she used to say, "Don't tell anyone who you really are, Mitzi, because nobody will want you." That's what I grew up with, and I love and adore my grandmother. And fortunately, that didn't stick on me too much. But some of us have had things that we've had to overcome. Spiritually, to be yourself is to stop living from other people's expectations, and to stop shrinking or inflating depending on the situation. To be yourself, let's say this together. To be yourself is the courage to start inhabiting your own life and live from your divine center. No one else can tell you how to be you. You get to be you. And it takes courage to let go of roles and expectations imposed by others, and to let go of the need for external approval. Because we love external approval. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real and honest here. We love to be clapped and supported and all that. But when we let go of that, we are more fully being ourselves. And it takes courage to let that light of spirit shine through your actual life, and not the life anyone else thinks you should be living. Who have people in their lives that think they should be living a different life? Yeah. It takes courage to let go of that. And when we start living from our own divine center, something beautiful happens. We stop comparing and competing and contorting. I love the word Gumbying. It's my made-up word. Like, I'm going to do a talk on that at some point, just on Gumbying. Gumbying into this space so that I can please you and be who you want me to be, rather than be who Spirit is calling me to be. And we begin to live, when we stop doing this, from spiritual authenticity. So where in your life are you being called to deeper authenticity? Next line. Especially do not feign affection. So to feign is to fake or imitate a feeling or an action. And Jesus rebuked the Pharisees for feigned righteousness. For feigning righteousness. Feigning is pretending, and it's when we say, "I'm fine," but inside we're anything but. Yeah, seeing a lot of nods right there. It's when we smile because we don't want anyone to see the real pain in our heart. And many of us learned as children that being agreeable kept us safe, that being pleasant kept peace, that being nice made us acceptable. And pretending for many of us became a survival strategy. But pretending costs more than we realize, because what it does is it disconnects us from our heart. And when we pretend, we lose track of what we actually feel. I remember I've been in a 12-step program for many, many, many years, decades, and some of you know this story. I used to have to look at the Hazelden sign, like, how are you feeling today? And sit there and go, how am I feeling today? Because I didn't really know. Anyone else ever been there? You're so used to trying to show up for others that you forget how you really feel. I know how I feel, but that took a lot of work, right? And we create relationships in this way that look good, but they don't nourish us. And pretending may keep things smooth on the surface, but it creates turbulence inside of ourselves. Unity teaches that our outer world should reflect our inner truth. And that doesn't mean perfectly, but it means honestly. So do not feign affection is not telling us to be harsh or cold. It's asking us to be aligned. And when we pretend, we're protecting ourselves from discomfort. Isn't that interesting? We don't want to go there. So we protect ourselves from discomfort. When we feign affection, we lose touch with our own needs and also the needs of others. And we become actors in our own lives rather than participants. Who's ever been an actor in their own life rather than a participant? A lot of us. We've I need to be that way. I need to show up that way because that's what's expected of me. So from a metaphysical perspective, pretending blocks the flow of divine love. Not because God withholds anything, but because we're not open. We block both giving and receiving love because Spirit can only move through us to the degree that we're willing to be authentic. So when we're honest and vulnerable with ourselves and others, love is given space to flourish. And our partnerships and our relationships deepen, and our compassion becomes genuine. So where in life are you tempted to feign affection? Let's say this one together. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. So cynicism, it's often born of disappointment or betrayal or loss. And if there's ever been a moment for most of us where cynicism feels justified, it's now. I mean, not this moment in Unity of Tempe, but I mean in the world, right? In the US, we may feel a lot of cynicism right now. But spiritually, cynicism closes us off because rather than keep us safe, it blocks the flow of Spirit and channels through which love could reach us. But Ehrman, he doesn't pretend that life is easy. He names aridity and disappointment. Then he gives us a poignant metaphor. Love is what? Well, love is what? As perennial as the grass. So in Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, he uses grass as a metaphor for democracy and interconnectedness of all life. Because grass is resilient. It survives drought and trampling and neglect. And it returns each season. And ecological studies show that grasslands, though vulnerable to disturbance, possess remarkable capacity for recovery because of deep roots and the ability to adapt to changing conditions. So spiritually, we are invited to cultivate similar qualities, deep roots in spirit, and the willingness to adapt. That's how we are getting through this time. So to say that love is perennial as the grass is to affirm the eternal, renewing power, even when our hearts are disillusioned. Love remains, a force that cannot be extinguished, only obscured. And unity teaches that love is the nature of God, the current of the divine moving through us, the creative, harmonizing power of the universe. And I love that, don't you? Let's affirm together. Love is the nature of God, the current of the divine moving through me. Say that again, like feel it. Feel that current of love. Feel it moving through you. Love is the nature of God, the current of the divine moving through me. I feel the Spirit moving through me. Do you feel it? Feel that Spirit, the power of love. And love doesn't disappear when we're discouraged, or evaporate when we're hurt, or depend on our mood or circumstances. Thank goodness for that, right? Love is the root system of our lives. It is the root system of our lives. And to believe in the perennial nature of love is to trust that even when we cannot see those green shoots coming up, that the roots are still alive. Philosophers and mystics across traditions have described love as the animating force of the cosmos. And love is not merely a feeling, but a principle, a power that transcends time and space, the cosmic consciousness that brings all things together. And when we align with love, we participate in the creative flow of the universe. Love is the source of healing. Most of the time, though, love is not overly dramatic or cinematic. It's that text that arrives when you're feeling lonely. It's that neighbor who checks in on you. It's that friend who calls or checks on you because they know you've had a hard day or a hard week. Or it's the community that supports you in prayer. And in this climate, the call to be yourself, to not feign affection, and to refuse cynicism is both more challenging and more necessary than ever. So how then do we support one another in this journey? Well, many of our struggles with love and authenticity have deep roots, and healing begins with safety, honesty, and compassion. And at Unity of Tempe, and especially on our weekly prayer calls, we create a space where people can risk being seen, being vulnerable, and where trust happens. And it's not about fixing or rescuing, but it is about accompanying and providing that loving, gentle, caring space for Spirit to do its work. So this week, beloveds, I encourage you to be yourself, the real you, the aligned you. Be true to yourself, do not pretend, and do not let the world's disappointments harden your heart. Love, like grass, persists beneath the surface, ready to spring forth anew. And here are some takeaways, some ways to practice authenticity in small, concrete ways. Notice. Each day, notice where you're tempted to feign affection, and where you're tempted to hide your feelings. Without judgment, simply notice. Risk. Choose one relationship or situation where you can be more authentic. And this might mean sharing a feeling or setting a boundary or offering a genuine compliment instead of a superficial one. Release. When you catch yourself being cynical, thinking, where is the love? Or people never change. Pause. Breathe. Gently affirm, even in the face of aridity and disenchantment, Love is as perennial as the grass. Oh, go back one. And do one small thing each day to nurture love within yourself, to nurture love in your home or in your community. And this might be a prayer, a note of encouragement. It might be a moment of deep listening with another person, or a simple act of kindness. So now we're going to turn to the song that as a community we chose together to anchor these messages. And as you listen, may the courage to be yourself rise gently in you, and may you know beyond all that you are loved, you are loving, and you are lovable, and you are already enough. Let us say together, I am a beloved child of God, here to be an ambassador of good. Yes, you are beloveds. You are ambassadors of good in the world, and I see your acts of goodness. I see your spirit and your being, so thank you for that. And so it is time to share our good. So I invite you to do that and take your good to your heart, and let us say, I am a joyful sharer of my good. I remember that as I give, I receive, and that God is my source. And if you prefer to give online, here is our QR code. We are so grateful, Divine Spirit, for these gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you for these gifts and offerings. We're so grateful that they do support our community, Unity of Tempe. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Spirit. We bless these gifts. We bless the giver. We bless the receiver, the stewardship of their use. We bless the community in which we serve, and we bless each person with abundance. And so it is. Amen. Thank you, Deborah and Jesse. And thank you. So, Palm Sunday. Next Sunday, can you believe it already? Does it feel like just Christmas, right? So who would like to wear green or something with palm leaves on next week, or it's like a palm t-shirt? And it doesn't have to be a whole outfit in green. You maybe a green scarf, a green something with green in it. I just thought it'd be kind of festive to wear something green. You don't have to. Green socks. We're going to stick to the only things that we can see on the outside, though, right? So yes. And then Easter is coming up, and we have the phenomenal Easter brunch with Epiphany. So who has been to the Easter brunch with Epiphany before? It is amazing. And so this is a potluck. You bring something to share. We are going to have 3 communities this time, because there are 3 spiritual communities that meet on this campus. There's the Episcopalians, and there is UCCI, which is Asian Indian Church, East Indian Church. So bring something, and there will be an Easter egg hunt for the little ones. And I know someone who would love to do that. And I'll be getting to that other part in a minute. And so Zoom calls on Thursday. We invite you to come and join us on Zoom at 9:30 a.m. If you'd like to join us, you just sign up on our email list, and you will get an email reminder about that. And so let us say together, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. It is well with my soul, and I am grateful. Beloveds online, we hope to see you in person this week, and do something for us. Be yourself, beloveds.